Welcome back to the news at 10. It's the dawn of a new year, and many people have set different goals for themselves. But what plans do you have for your health in 2017? On our Focus on Health tonight, Channels television correspondent Yomi Otaigbe speaks with some Nigerians on their plans, as well as with health practitioners on how to set and achieve health-related goals.
At the start of a new year, many people plan for better career, businesses, buy new cars, build houses, and generally look forward to a better year. But where is the place of healthy living in the scheme of things?
I thank God I enjoy a sound health, and I don't want anything that will tamper with my health.
Do you have plans for it?
Yeah, Can one plan for one's health?
I've planned that this year I'm going to take care of my health, not to eat all those junk food again.
I don't think health is something you just attain. I believe it's a gradual step.
Healthy living involves making deliberate efforts, because every plan you have can only be achieved when sound health is present. A senior lecturer at the College of Medicine, University of Lagos, Dr. Ifedayo Odeniyi, speaks on some of the steps to take to ensure good health.
Apart from looking at the blood pressure, the blood sugar, we now send blood samples for tests, and the tests we can do with these blood samples vary. For example, you take a man that's above 45. Apart from looking at the level of blood, looking at the kidney function, looking at cholesterol, you want to look at the PSA. That is a prostatic surface antigen, and that tends to help to monitor the health of the prostate gland. Of course, women are advised to examine their breast regularly. When you do periodic medical, the examination goes beyond just palpating, touching and looking for lump. They probably will request for a mammogram, which will actually look at the breast better. Women are also advised to do pap smear, and if anything is found not to be up to where it should be, you are referred appropriately to a specialist who takes care of that and makes sure that your health is back on track.
Aside from medical checks, getting enough sleep and making healthy choices are key.
When you get to hospital, they check basic things like the BMI, they check the waist. If your BMI is between 20 and 25, that is optimum weight. If your waist is more than 40, even if your BMI is normal, it means that you have accumulated fat in the wrong areas, and that increases the chances of somebody to have heart disease and a shortened lifespan. Everybody should get at least about 8 hours of sleep every day. And if for whatever reason, either work, social commitments, you are not able to get enough sleep, you don't wait until when you begin to suffer from the effects of sleep deprivation. The next thing you want to go to is cigarette smoking. That is absolute. Anybody that is smoking cigarette should stop it.
What about keeping a lead on your stress level?
You know, stress comes in different, it will come in marital stress, stress of the workplace, societal stress. Everybody must take one active step to reduce their stress level. Well, it is now known that chronic exposure to stress will actually end up with visible disease.
And the children should not be left out when it comes to healthy living.
The children ordinarily are very active, but unfortunately the society we find ourselves now, children don't have anywhere to play again. Even at home, we lock them up. We are afraid of kidnappers and all those things. So now we are facing childhood obesity, and the reason is that our children now consume a lot of calorie. They sit more in front of the TV. But for now, as parents, what should we do? Can we sometimes drop the car and let them stroll with us around the neighborhood and at least get them to sweat? We must also watch what we give them in their packs to school. You hardly find fruits in those bags. And so we need to change from that if we want our children also to be very healthy and active.
Having a health plan is one step. Following through is another. These may not come easy, but making the positive changes gradually would help. If you fall by the wayside, dust yourself up and try again. Yomi Otaigbe, reporting for Channels Television News.
As laudable as building infrastructure such as roads and bridges can be, it is sometimes a source of temporary inconvenience for residents and motorists. And this is what some property and business owners in the Abulegba axis of Lagos State are experiencing. The host community, however, sees a silver lining, even though the 3-month-old project has affected their business. Channel's business correspondent Tempo Ashaju reports.
The popular Abulegba Road junction gradually wearing a new look with the construction of a dual-carriage flyover bridge. This road junction was home to a motor park, filling stations, commercial banks and eateries, but now it's more of construction activities.
Normally come in here and load people, but when they come to scatter the whole of this place, they cannot load people as it's supposed to be.
We had more than 5 banks or 6, if I'm not mistaken. Right now, we just have maybe just 1.
A few months ago, the Lagos State government, the project financier, embarked on the demolition of properties impeding the right-of-way, a move that put house as well as business owners, motorists and commuters plying the route in a hard time.
I have a shop down there where we sell wheels, clothing materials, but eventually the work, when they want to start this work, they give us quick notice.
Before at least every day we sell almost, in PMS, we sell 18,000 liters a day. AGO, we sell 10,000. DPK, that one's more than 20,000 a day. No compensation, nothing. They just demolish all the properties and spoil our business.
It's ID government paid them in time. Whether they have certificate of occupancy or not, the title to land matters. Certificate of occupancy is an evidence of being on the property.
The Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development denies violating federal highway regulations through a press statement in the media.
We've been informed about the compensation, but we don't know the amounts to be paid.
Despite the lull in economic activities, the property owners agree to the prospects of the multi-billion naira infrastructure project.
It's also a way of bringing development towards this area, decongesting the population of traffic jam here, and all that. The amount of hawkers that would always be found on the highway, and a lot of that to be reduced. So definitely we would have the benefits at the end of the day.
Abulegba is gateway for domestic items, industrial goods and services between Ogun State, Lagos and Benin Republic. But the level of sacrifice at this time for this flyover is a pointer to economic benefits deferred in the medium term. Temple Ashaju, Channels Television News.
The federal government, in a move to develop critical sectors of the economy, this week approved a reduction in the import duties of 115 items in various sectors of the economy. The government approved the reduction of some 26 items from 10 to 5%, while 89 items were reviewed downwards to 5%. Well, some dealers of the items in the reviewed list reacted to this development.
It's not news that the current economic recession, coupled with the sharp fall of the naira against the US dollar, have left many Nigerians groaning in hardship, especially as prices of goods and services rose to between 60 and 70%, according to analysts. What is heartwarming, however, is the recent decision of the federal government to slash import duties on 115 items in different sectors of the economy as part of fiscal policy measures. Some of the items on the list are textiles, pharmaceuticals, iron steels and consumables. While some dealers in these items are optimistic about the positive effects of this policy, others express concern about the ability of governments to implement the decision.
When the import duty is being reduced, what we're talking about is the importers we have today. They import, instead of clearing container with a lesser money, they now clear with million. And if they are going to sell for us, they will add it inside what they use in clearing. We pray for them to, as they say, they should implement it, not just by saying.
It's demand and supply. People buy more, but at the normal rate. But this time, because the price is very high, they don't buy. Somebody that intends to buy two cannot even afford to buy one with the price. So the hope is that when the price goes down, we will sell more. There will be more purchase, and we will enjoy it better.
This welder, Maylock Ehiosun, says the huge cost of iron rods and metal sheets in the market has affected the demand for his products.
At the middle of last year, we're selling a double door here at the rate of 34 and 35,000. That is double door, which we are selling at the rate of 70 to 80,000 now, which the double pan has been increased to the amount of 110 to 120,000. So the effect of dollar to Nigerian naira has really affected the loss. If the import is reduced, I believe if we are buying at the reduction rates, we can also sell the way we buy.
While this policy of the government has been described as a good one, what is now left is for Nigerians to begin to feel the impact of this decision as soon as possible.
We're still talking business, so let's cross over to our business studios where Anne Wamodo is standing by. Thank you, Harriet. We begin business news tonight with the federal government plans to auction between 430 billion naira in local currency bonds in the first quarter of this year. According to the debt issuance calendar, the 2027 bond will be a new issue in March. The Debt Management Office is expected to auction between 110 billion naira and 140 billion naira worth of bonds maturing in 2021 and about 105 billion naira of the bond maturing in 2026. The DMO will sell 55 billion naira of the March 2027 bond, while 130 billion naira of the 2036 bond will be offered. Nigeria has proposed a budget deficit of 2.36 trillion naira for this year. Meanwhile, the government hopes to fund the 2.36 trillion naira budget by borrowing 1.254 trillion domestically and 1.067 trillion naira from outside of Nigeria. And still talking about bonds, sell-offs dominated that space, with average yields rising by 23 basis points this week to close at 16.73%. Investors were particularly downbeat throughout the week, except for Friday. Yields increased across the mid and the long ends of the curve, but dealers are expecting very cautious trading in the coming week. The first quarter debt issuance calendar showing the federal government's plan to borrow in line with the expanded 2017 budgetary provision will likely influence trading next week. And on Wednesday, the Central Bank of Nigeria held its first Treasury bill auction of the year, where it sold a total of 172.85 billion naira across the 91-day, the 182-day and 364-day bills. The buying frenzy occurred across board, with the highest demand recorded across short-dated bills. Yields also contracted at the intermediate and the long ends of the curve. With no exceptions of significant inflows to bolster liquidity, dealers expect demand to moderate next week. And with that, we end business news tonight. Thanks for watching. I'm Anne Nwaudu. Back to you, Harriet. Thank you, Anne. Next in the news at 10, Novak Djokovic beats Andy Murray 6-3, 5-7, 6-4 in Doha to retain his Qatar Open title. That's on Sports News. Please stay with us.